is the Subaru Evoltis, Subaru's largest crossover yet. But with a price tag of 3.48 million pesos, the biggest question we have to ask is, what category does it even belong? Hello beautiful people of the internet, I'm Nix, and we're here with the Subaru Evoltis. So if you're a Subaruist or a Subaru fan, you probably know this car. This is actually the Subaru Ascent in the US market. At its price tag of 3.48 million pesos, we have to ask ourselves, what niche market is this trying to pull off? We have 7-seaters that are priced at 2.5 million pesos. Comparing the Subaru Evoltis to those SUVs, it's 1 million pesos more expensive. But when you compare it to the premium segment, which their SUVs hover at around 4.5 million pesos, this is 1 million pesos cheaper. So looking at its price tag, it's really hard to gauge where it belongs. Does it belong to the regular SUVs or does it belong to the premium SUVs? To put the specs out there, this is a 2.4-liter gasoline engine that is turbocharged, and the configuration of this engine is the Boxer engine. So Subarus are well known for their Boxer engines. I'll put a video card on top here if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can check out our review on the Subaru Forester, which is basically what every Subaru strives to be. I think the best way to point as much as I can out is to take you inside with me. If you look at the steering wheel, there are a lot of buttons in this car, and yet like drive, it's so well designed. You don't feel anything's bothering you or everything's on the way when driving this car, despite its numerous buttons. So if I were to count, including the paddle shifters, 1, 2, 3, 16, 17, 18, there are 18 buttons and switches here, and yet when you drive, none of them are on your way. And if there's indicator of the old test units of the Subarus, I can confidently say that these materials will last long. Next, you have your infotainment system here. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Here, you have your aircon system. Dual climate or 3 climate because the rear also has their own controls over there. Oh, there's seat coolers and seat warmers. I'm a fan of tactile knobs. You can call me Tito all you want, but I prefer them. Comment down below if you think that buttons and knobs will live forever. Oh, looking here, these are Harman Kardon speakers. So for you audiophiles out there, you're in for a treat when it comes to sounds on this car. What I heard, there are 19 different cup holders around this car. And then you have 2 ports here. So if you have your phone, one for the driver, one for the passenger. Very responsive. Like, this is a very responsive Android Auto Apple CarPlay system. The sunroof. Oh my god, so bright. But yeah, for those who want the sunroof, there's that option. I'm gonna take that out, I'm sorry. It's so bright outside right now. This rear view mirror is actually a digital rear view mirror. It took a while to get used to, but after you get used to it, you start to see the sense on what makes this digital rear view mirror so cool. And basically, because it's digital, nothing on the second or third row seat will be blocking your view. You have an uninterrupted rear view now that it's digital. If you really want to see everyone at the back, you just have to push this for the conversation mirror. No matter how rowdy the back can get or how filled up the back can get, with this digital rear view mirror, you'll always be able to see your back. And that's such a brilliant idea. I think more cars should implement this when they can. One thing I like about this car is the ride height is just enough that if you're a passenger, it's really easy to get into. You don't have to climb like the other SUVs. And I also like that this door folds almost 90 degrees, so it's really easy to get into. It's adjustable. The seats here are adjustable, so that if you have passenger seat at the back, you can like adjust accordingly. In this scenario, I'm a VIP. I want to work in this car. I'm gonna max out my leg. So it's this spacious. I can actually de quattro. 5'11", 220 pounds. De quattro. Easy. Here in the passenger seat, the second row, you have controls here. You have climate control over here. You have the fan speed over here. The most convenient part, like for the passengers over here, besides the roomy captain interior, I think one is if you have a handbag, you can hang it over here, the opposite side. For you with their wives or ladies, handbag holder, pretty useful. And as you can see, there's a laptop bag because, so I have a big laptop over here. I have a charger over here. I can literally open my laptop, plug it in here, boom. You also have 2 USB charging ports over here, 2.1 milliamperes. If you're a VIP looking for a car to be brought around like city, highway, long distance, the Subaru Evoltis, when you consider the ride comfort and the seat comfort, hard not to look at this if you're on the realm of buying a premium SUV. If you're looking at the big body-on-frame premium SUVs, this is more or less ₱1,000,000 cheaper, and yet you get so much comfort in this car. For the 7-seater part to work, you're going to have to move this seat forward. Maybe if it's children at the back, I'll call this a 7-seater. So for full-size adults, I'll say this is more of a 6 than a 7-seater. This has a 60-40 split. The interesting thing is, when you have captain seats, most likely it's not gonna fold flat. But in true Subaru fashion, even the captain seats actually fold flat. There's numbers here. So number 1, pull the seat down. And then there's a number 2, boom, folds flat, or like relatively flat. Not a flat bed, but it's better than the usual. The usual style will be able to fold it like that and then move it as forward as you can. But for the Subaru Forester, you're able to turn it to somewhat of a flat bed. This is the driving impression of the Subaru Evoltis. This is not a car that you'd buy for pure off-road. I mean, they're the truck-based mid-size SUVs for that. And some of the premium mid-size SUVs with a proper 4x4. They're more for that. But on a pinch, this can get you out many places. So we're here on the highway, and like, I'll tell you this much. How the Forester felt like in terms of drive, this feels exactly the same. So if you want to check out that review of the Subaru Forester, I'll put the link up there for if you're watching this on YouTube. The Subaru Evoltis feels really athletic to drive, and especially considering its size, it is a big car. So as you saw a while ago, in terms of comfort, the Subaru Evoltis checks that box. There at the back, you have a lot of legroom and headroom. The bigger question is, how does the Subaru Evoltis ride and drive? They're correlated because depending on the input of the driver, it will translate to how smooth the car is. Considering its size, I think Subaru did a great job in choosing the 2.4-liter turbocharged engine for this one. Because man, I'll tell you, this car can pull. So just to demonstrate like how athletic this car is, I'm gonna pedal to the metal. Whoa! There we go, 80, 100, boom. Like, this car can pull. Once it gets its turbo in, this car can pull. And in terms of steering feel, considering it's all-wheel drive, it's very athletic. The whole combination's magnificent. The steering's light, and yet it's predictable and intuitive. Where my mind wants to put the car, it takes it there so easily. And at this speed, at 100 kilometers per hour, look at that, it's still smooth. And you gotta think the unibody construction of that. You know, in other premium SUVs, since it is body on frame, if you were to turn at that speed, you're going to feel it. Because just like the name implies, body frame, they're two separate entities. You're gonna feel like you're resting against each other. Whereas this one, you really feel one with the car. That smooth ride, because of the unibody design, it works wonders. So when you have that formula of ride so smoothly and drive so well, if you want to be driving the car, like for example, it's like, hey, I want to take this car out for a spin, you can actually enjoy the car. If you're looking for a SUV to take you around town, or you know, from province to province, and you want the utmost level of comfort, the Subaru Evoltis should be in your consideration list. It's a shame that because of the price tag of the Subaru Evoltis, as much as this is a bigger Forester, the price is just too high to justify it. If you're really eyeing for a premium SUV, because what you want is to have a driver to bring you around, and while you're going around, you want to be able to work, you want to be able to do stuff. With the Subaru Evoltis, you can do just that. I was able to use the back seat and use my laptop, plug it in, and use it as if I was in my office desk. The fact that you have the captain's chair that makes everything feel so comfortable. Who is this car for? Evidently, the 3.45 million price tag is pretty steep if you're looking for a 7-seater. Because at 2.5 million pesos, you can get SUVs that are 7-seaters, that are 4-wheel drive, and that are even diesel, so they're fuel efficient when you compare to this car. And that's understandable. But if you're looking for that 7-seater with that premium feel, with that premium touch, with that premium experience, the Subaru Evoltis is your gateway to that experience. It's for those who are looking for that Forester reliability, dependability, and safety, but in a much bigger package. I'd also recommend this to those who are looking for a large SUV to be chauffeured around with, to at least give this a try. Because when they compare this to the body-on-frame premium SUVs, if they're looking for a smooth ride and for comfort, they'll probably lean towards the Subaru Evoltis because of the quality it gives on the aspects VIPs are looking for.